back to Thanks for Cooking. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. We are up to 52 subscribers on YouTube.
As of, I guess this moment. Yep.
I love that. Everyone loved the last episode, all of that positivity. I actually listened to it myself in the car, and I was like, this was a great episode. It was all good vibes.
It was nice. It was really nice to, not just have like a bitch stash.
I know, we're in between. We always like, sometimes it's bitching. Sometimes it's more lighthearted. Sometimes it's serious.
Yeah.
But that was just like a fun, very positive, like uplifting episode. But what was this past week? I was like looking at the calendar before we got on. I got my teeth drilled. No, we got to go in order of the days.
Okay.
I got my teeth drilled. So that was shitty. I never had been to the dentist. I've been told I had cavities. So that was some bullshit. So that was that. You went to Pippin.
I had a... Well, so I guess I went to Shrek first.
Well, hold on. That was Sunday? When was that?
Shrek was on Sunday.
Okay, so I see. I skipped ahead.
Music Mountain.
Which you loved.
Which was amazing, as always.
Definitely check out his reviews of that show, because it looked amazing.
Yeah, and by the time, it's going through March 22nd, so Lambertville, New Jersey, and tickets, I think, they're like $20, right? So.
And it's like Broadway. To me, it's like Broadway level.
Do yourself a favor and go check it out. Like, there's so many talented actors and actresses in the Music Mountain productions. Like, they're awesome.
They're always so good. We went to Anthony's this week and had a great dining experience.
Anthony's Pizzeria in North Wales. I cannot wait to put this review out because, again, we talk about just like really great business owners, really genuine people. This guy, like, I really connected with him. You talk about guys who just love what they do.
Yes.
And it's so refreshing to get to like hang out with people like that.
I know. And his wife too. She was so sweet. Yeah,
just like the whole, because it's a family run operation. And they're awesome people. So if you get the chance, keep an eye out for the review. But
their Sicilian pizza, maybe the best I've had. I can't think of one that compares.
Especially because like you made a really good point, is that nobody's really doing Sicilian pizza right now that I can think of.
It's all thin crust grandma.
It's the thin crust grandma,
which is just not. It's not it for me. Like, I don't dislike. I mean, I love pizza, but Sicilian is just like.
But I think it's interesting that, when we look at food trends and like the way that being able to observe food trends from the outside now and not from being stuck in a restaurant, it's really interesting seeing this where it's like, why is focaccia trending in restaurants? You see a lot of these breakfast joints that are doing focaccia. So like Steel Penny, New Rising Sun, just to name a few. But then the idea of the Sicilian pizza has become defunct when it's essentially the same thing.
I was thinking when I was eating it, I was like, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Because it's focaccia almost.
But like, why, when you compare like the styles and everything, why is it that focaccia is trending, but Sicilian isn't? But I would actually, again, my same feeling with like the cheesesteak situation where I think people are getting bored of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people have sort of like, they're hitting the wall with the fermented doughs and the regular pizza. So we're going to see more places like Steel Penny or Anthony's that are doing really good Detroit style or Sicilian style pizzas that are going to end up becoming more popular again. And my big vote is anyone who's doing sandwiches well, which Anthony's is doing as well, right? So like your burgers, your cutlet sandwiches, like we know Berardi's has fantastic cutlet sandwiches. So again, Steel Penny has their amazing homemade ciabatta rolls, the sandwiches that they're doing there. So like, I think anybody who's doing sandwiches, fresh bread, fresh burgers, like those are the things that is going to be the next pivot point for like what defines like a good, what I consider like the mid-level restaurants.
Well, you had mentioned New Rising Sun, which is somewhere we went. His friend John from Spread Bagelry opened up his own spot. He was like a home baker and everything.
Yep.
And now he has his own spot next to the Ardsley train station.
The Ardsley train station.
In Glenside.
It's like the old train house, like train, I guess, ticket window booth thing. And so it's just this cute little cafe. It's such a great opportunity for him.
And his sandwiches, he got the focaccia with a chicken salad.
So
and that
roasted
was so
herb,
good.
roasted herb chicken salad. Gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. He puts it on his homemade focaccia, which you can get like, was it the plain, the everything, or rosemary?
Which is my favorite.
He's doing some house-made coffee syrups. He's got obviously his baked goods. We had the cranberry white chocolate scone. We're gonna have to go maybe like Tuesday morning.
We're gonna have to tell him to save us one.
Yeah, because you have it was doing was it the blood orange scone
with the rosemary sauce or something? I forget. All of his stuff was so great. The drinks were awesome. So that was cool. Like, it's always nice to find, like, we always talk about being coffee snobs now. So it's just one more spot to add into the rotation of the week.
Yeah, he's got Rival Bros Coffee out of Philadelphia.
I love that, like, we really do need to map it out because it's like some of the places are closed certain days. So, like, I was thinking about going to John's tomorrow because we have nothing in the morning, but he's not open.
He's not open Mondays.
Steel Penny's not open. So you're like, all right, so Meadowlark on Mondays. So like, you got to make that.
Well, and a few people have asked, and this is a project, again, I've got a million projects that I need to do. But a lot of people have asked me to sort of like map out my areas, and especially like information like that. So like because like we know, like, because we're native to where we are, that when we're running our general day-to-day errands, like we have our places. Even though I have like a grander list of my favorite places that I like to go,
there's ones that are in the area.
We have the staples. Like we know that when we're running errands, it's like we're gonna either go to Steel Penny or Meadowlark for our coffee. We're gonna go to Michaela's in the middle of the day for a sweet treat. We're gonna go to a certain place to get lunch, maybe. So, I think that like to really kind of map out, localized circles of areas.
I also think a lot of people travel to Bucks County, which is so weird because like we hate it, like not hate it here, but you know what I mean? Like we lived here forever, so nothing's like, oh my God, it's Bucks County.
Well, and it's so historic. I didn't realize that until I had moved away. And I remember when I was living in Annapolis, and again, living in a tourist town that is only 2 hours from here, where people would come through and I'd be like, well, where are you going? What are you doing? They're like, oh, we're going to Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
You're like, why?
I was like, why would you want to do that? Well, the covered bridges and the scenery and the history. There's a lot of that kind of stuff around here.
You could map out like kind of a Chef Nick's guide to Bucks County small businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be a cool little
absolutely. And there's so many. Like that's the thing is I think that, I really want to be able to do it where you could be like, hey, here's like a day in Warminster, here's a day in Southampton, here's a day in like Yardley, but then also just basically have an index where I'm like coffee, bakery goods, sandwiches, dinners, date nights, activities. Like there's so many things that there is to do. So I really have to like sit down and kind of catalog it all. But I think that it would be a fun guide to have out for people.
For sure.
Maybe I could connect with Visit Bucks on it or something.
Yes. Make it happen.
Knock knock.
So then you went to Pippin.
Went to Pippin at the so if you guys didn't know, because I didn't, Philadelphia has a circus academy. Which it was in this, I would say like a school-like building or like an old, maybe like an old Catholic school type of building that you see in Philadelphia. There was a few actors who I had connected with a year ago through Music Mountain and followed their acting journey over the last year, and they're doing this thing. So I wanted to go and support them. Obviously, I have a lot of theater going on this month anyway, so I said, let me go check this out. And it's at this circus academy, which was really cool because it's like an open floor setup that they have where the live orchestra is on the stage and they had seats down the side and then in the back alley, so the performers were literally on the floor with you, and it's very like I love those immersive experiences. What is it, Town and Country is very much like that, where you have the seats on both sides of the stage. So I love the challenge that people face with a different setup. And I get to see that in a couple different scenarios, right? So like when I go to Delaware Theater Company, this is a Broadway theater program and everything, so they have a very tight stage compared to some other places. Like I actually would believe that the stage at DTC is smaller than the Music Mountain stage, has some depth to it, but not much. But they really like play off of the minimalist ideas and allow you to use your imagination to fill in the blanks. Music Mountain has a very large stage, a very deep stage, so they're able to play with scenery that way. And then, you see the show where it's right on the floor. So it was like a really cool sort of juxtaposition between the shows I've seen over the last few weeks and how everybody interprets things differently. It's a cool concept. And I think one of the first shows that I saw at Music Mountain was Pippin. So
that's so cool to see it.
It was a little bit of full circle, see it from a different production standpoint and how it was interpreted differently. But it was awesome. It was a great show. I got to see some people that I really kind of look up to in the theater community.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then you got to be on a podcast. Not this one, a different one.
Not on our podcast, the Alter Judgment podcast. These guys are local to the Bucks County area. Again, big supporters of small businesses.
That's sure, it's so cool.
They're kind of, so this is probably one of the coolest like gifts that I've received in this process. So their logo is a mug of beer with the headphones on it. And what they do is based off of like who's on the show is they're going to have something that reflects them. So it's essentially me with sunglasses and a chef's hat.
Love it.
And the headphones. I was going
to ask you, did you ask them why their name is that? Or like where they got that, or do you know?
So because it started like, they would go to the games and be hanging out in the parking lot, like, doing the tailgating thing, drinking, and they drink throughout their episodes. It's not like they're heavy drinkers, but like, it is centered around them just sort of like sitting, having a beer.
Yeah.
So it's that Alter Judgment type of thing. And they released the wives episode, which we were all joking about, and that was Better Judgment, which I thought was a really clever like spin of the name.
Yeah, I love that. It looked really, really cool.
They have like such a, I mean, they're only a few episodes in, but they have such a professional setup. So it was cool for us to see that, because obviously, like, we work pretty bare bones here. I don't have a mixer. We have my phone and the microphone and,
listen, this is my tech. This is fancy.
A lot of people say they're like, at least like it sounds good, right? And I know some people have been like, if it doesn't sound good, I'm not going to listen to it.
Remember our first episodes, like how rinky-dink it was? Like, we sat in the corner, we had the little mics. Sometimes they sounded okay.
Yeah.
This mic was a good investment.
This was a good investment. The next, I mean, I do want to get a mixer board. I would love to get two.
We each get a mic.
I can get a mixer board that has the two on it, and it'll work a little bit better.
Nice.
So, if anybody wants to pay,
we should reach out to these companies. Like that would be a good start.
Yeah, we should.
It's a good idea. What do we got this week?
This week
on Thanks for Cooking.
So we were talking as we've
segue.
I just need like an AI clip of you on a Segway, just kind of going across the screen.
I want to actually get on one.
Paul Blart, is that the?
Yeah, he's on
do a little Paul Blart across the screen. Segway.
Make it happen. That's a good one.
Well, no. So obviously we've been talking a lot with small businesses, and as I've been pivoting my platform a little bit and looking to expand, we also talk a lot about sort of like what are red flags that we look for in these businesses, or how do we, from the outside now, when I see businesses that are either starting out or in their first couple of years, like how can I tell if they're going to be a successful business or not? Because we've been there. I've been fortunate that I've worked for so many failed businesses that like I know how to see these things a mile away.
And yet,
you
never see the red flags.
I never see
the red flags.
When I go to work for them, I'm like, no, this could be good. But I also see like when I see like the good things too, right? When I see the certain things that some businesses are doing, where I'm like, okay, like this business has their shit together, and it's gonna do well. So we're kind of talking about it's like the struggles of things that I think a lot of people don't see, because we also see, like, I call it's sort of like the Pampered Chef theory when it comes to people wanting to open up a small business.
Well, when you were talking about red flags, the first thing that popped into my head was promoting your business 2 years before it opens, and it's still not open. There's a local spot around here that has been promoting on social media.
So you can't even say it's around here yet because it's not.
Where is it? And they're like, it's coming. Like the fact that they're putting out photos of their stuff that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Almost daily for the last couple weeks now. They post on all the community pages and they're like, we're coming. And everybody's like, where? And they're like, well, we're still finalizing things.
You don't have a business.
You don't have it yet. And when I see stuff like that, what it screams to me. So here, and you have to kind of like paint the picture when you see, there's always like the red flag starter pack.
Well, so when you just talked about the Pampered Chef thing, like this is definitely one of those.
So this is like my red flag starter pack is first thing is a brand new piece of equipment, not a used, like if you're doing a food truck, it's a brand new food truck, not a used one. Every good business owner is going to buy a used one for sure and mock it up their way. If you have the money to buy a brand new one, I'm gonna
food truck, you're done.
Right. I'm gonna assume that like this is just sort of a pet project of yours and you're just throwing money at something. The second thing is the family photo. Because I know everybody's familiar with the like the American Gothic photo, the two farmers in front of the thing, right? I kind of always compare it to that, but it's like the husband, I'm not being sexist here, but this tends to be the general norm of this, is that the husband looks like he's some dude in finance. He has money, or he's got a decent income.
He's got a good job.
He's got a good stable job. The wife has been a stay-at-home mom for a little bit, and she's sold her Lululemon and her Pampered Chef and her Avon, and so she was like at home and she's making coffee for her and her girlfriends one day, and they're like, you should do this as a business. And she's like, oh my God, gets on the phone. Jimmy, you're not going to believe this. I'm going to start a coffee truck. What do you think? And he goes, you know what? If it keeps you out of my hair, fine. And you just see it in their eyes when you look at the family photo.
You're like, he is dead inside and she has sucked the money and soul from him.
This is like her 13th project that she's tried to do. And he supports, and there, it's great that he supports, but again, the difference between getting involved with things like Avon and Pampered Chef compared to getting involved with especially a food business, a small business where you're like, there's like all the legal paperwork and things. There's a big gap there. And I don't think that people necessarily understand what they're getting themselves into. So that's sort of like the starter pack. It's like that, and like a series of professional photos and a like gorgeous website and everything mocked up before you've even opened, and like
it's just too much.
I can tell you're throwing a lot of money in the wrong places.
Yes.
And the minute that like shit hits the fan, you're gonna be like, I don't know if we can do this anymore. So like you spent the last 2 years promoting this business, and after a week of being open, we're gonna see the truck for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
Not a marketplace.
So that's kind of like that's my like initial like that's a big red flag is you're getting it's that idea of like I want to play restaurant, I want to play food truck.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the movies. Everybody says I should do this. It's that American Idol theory too, right? Oh, my grandma says that I'm a really good singer, so I should try out for American Idol. And they're always garbage. You know, my friends, they love to come over and eat my food, so they said I should open up a restaurant. Owning a restaurant and being able to cook are two drastically different things.
Yes.
And I think one of the most important pieces of information that I can give to somebody who wants to own a business like that is you really need to understand your strengths and weaknesses and limitations. I know how to run a business, right? I know how to be a GM of a restaurant very, very well. I am not the best line cook. I would put you well above me when it comes to being a line cook. I think I told Chef Devin the other day how like I know you could cook circles around me.
That's nice.
But I can put a menu together.
Yeah.
Right? Like I understand how to put them in. Like I know where those pieces are, but I also know my strengths and weaknesses. I know that in terms of like the operating a business aspect of that, I would turn to your father for something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he understands the legalities and the red tapes and all that kind of like nonsense that needs to go on. So I'm a firm believer that even if you think that you have all of those skills, you cannot do it all yourself.
Agreed.
Watch every restaurant rescue show, like all those Gordon Ramsay's, Robert Irvine's. Mm-hmm. You get the chef owner, businessman person who's like wearing all these hats and is constantly exhausted. It is a time-consuming job. Every single one of those roles is a time-consuming job, and you're going to take on all of that. You will burn out so fast. And the minute that something gets away from you, it's just going to snowball.
I think that these people really, like you said, they like fantasize about it and like draw up what they think it could be.
Yeah.
But most of them are starting from nothing. And they don't have the people that do it as a passion project, like you just know you like to make lattes in your house. They have no experience. They don't come from the restaurant. Like I would like to think that if at this moment right now I was handed a restaurant, even if I don't know all the pieces, I could find the people that do. And I know enough about it of like what my strengths and weaknesses are.
We have like a little Rolodex of people
to call. We really do, like fill in. But a lot of these, like I don't want to stereotype either, but like it is what it is, stay-at-home moms. It's like just because you're bored doesn't mean you need to open up a small business. Like I just feel like you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
And I'm definitely going to speak more to the idea of opening things in food service.
For sure. Oh, no. That's, yeah.
I do believe that, like, and don't get me wrong, there is work behind opening up, like, a clothing boutique or something like that, like a retail store. But it is vastly different when it comes to...
There's less moving pieces.
There's less moving pieces. There's less in terms of the skill set. And I think kind of, like, tying in with that is understanding how to scale a business. And I'll use John with New Rising Sun as a perfect example. So John had developed this business. He had his cottage law license out of his house and was baking bread there. He had, an oven or two. He had his fridges and freezers. He had his setup. So he could produce on the level that he was producing.
Yep.
And he took that concept and literally just took it one notch more with having a physical brick and mortar now with the New Rising Sun Cafe.
He really didn't overdo it.
And
I love that.
Like, and I will say, so here's the opposite is the Tap House was a really great example. So Great Barn Tap House and Brewery. So they have a small little, their brewery is out in Kittnersville. And they have a little tap house with, what do they have there? Like 4 taps.
And like nachos
and
cheese.
Yeah, it was like hot dogs and nachos with cheese.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe 8 bar stools. So it was this tiny little tap room. And then they took on a 120-seat restaurant with a 40-seat bar.
With zero experience.
With no restaurant experience whatsoever.
Yep. And it imploded.
Absolutely imploded in on themselves because they went in so hard. And again, it was that you look at the pieces and I could literally show every single failed business that I've worked with and go, they threw a bunch of money at it, but They didn't have the staff organized.
Well, that one's a pure example of like his daddy's money paid for everything.
Oh, for sure, for
like that's
sure.
crazy.
You know, they really like they scaled way too fast.
Yeah.
But didn't know how to handle it. And honestly, like as a business owner, and especially in the restaurant industry, if you're not willing to be 100% hands-on, you know, we've always talked, obviously we would love to own our own restaurant. Every time that we have drawn out the plans for what that would look like, the bare bones, worst case scenario, your entire staff walks out, that business would still operate at maximum efficiency if it was just the two of us working there.
Addie bussing the tables.
Right, like Addie and Jason just kind of like
Scrubbing
doing the dishes and stuff.
I like it.
But like that has to be taken into account too.
You have to know what you're doing. And in the tap house scenario, the owners really didn't know. They didn't know how to cook. They didn't know how to serve. They didn't know how to bartend. They had no skills. None.
Zero.
So that was frustrating to watch. Because
even on the small scale, right? So even in like, I see all these coffee trucks that are popping up. You need at least 2 people working that truck, because if you're busy, you need somebody taking orders, somebody making the coffee. If you've never, like, you know that if you make an espresso, a cappuccino, anything that takes time, it's going to take like 3 to 4 minutes. And they go, well, that's only 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, you have a line of 10 people. That is 40 minutes worth of product. Now imagine, just put that into perspective. Would you wait 40 minutes for a cup of coffee? And if you say yes, you're a dick. You're not going to wait 40 minutes for a cup of coffee.
Would you wait 40 minutes for a cup of matcha?
I would definitely not wait 40 minutes for a cup of matcha.
Yeah, me neither.
So it's really understanding that practicality too. So you say, okay, well, yeah, sure, I'm going to hire a cashier person. Well, what happens if that cashier person doesn't show up? What's your plan B? And my famous line working in the restaurant industry is always have a plan B.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to pivot in the moment. And I was thinking about this earlier today about how being able to manage like crisis control, damage control in severe moments is a skill that most people don't have in general, but you absolutely need to run and or manage a restaurant operation.
What's really weird, and I know you're going to agree with this, is I have none of that skill in real life, but in a restaurant, it could be on fire and I'm good. Like I'm cool as a cucumber. Yep. If you have it in the restaurant, you have it. Like if you can make it happen. But yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. You know, you have to be willing to make the tough calls. You have to be willing to, you know, make those like split second decisions. When what happens if your coffee machine goes down? What happens if your oven breaks?
Yep.
What happens if your truck breaks down and you've got somewhere to be? You know, so a lot of people that I see that they buy food trucks as opposed to food trailers. Well, if your truck breaks down, your whole operation ceases. If your car breaks down, you can go for $20 a day and rent a U-Haul truck to tow your trailer where you need to go and still make money that day. Are you thinking about that when this happens?
After I bring in another business, but after seeing what happened to Spuddy Buddy the past year, when their truck went down and they didn't have a backup plan and she was out of work for months and like all this other chaos was going on, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And like that is their income. I just feel like personally, the food trucks have died out, in my opinion. I feel like you either had one and are already successful, or you really gotta hustle.
I'm gonna say that it is both easy and tough in this area. Obviously, food trucks are very predicated on what the temperatures are like, what the season is like, what the weather is like.
Well, I also think the one that we're specifically talking about, that we keep saying like coming soon, is so like niche.
Yep.
That I'm not pulling over for it, and I'm not going. I mean, I wouldn't go to it anyway, but I'm like, I don't know.
And again, so did you consider the demographic of the area that you're in? Just because you have some people that say that they like a particular product doesn't mean you're going to have a lineup waiting for it. Not to mention, and we're going to talk specifically about coffee/matcha right now, there are already well-established coffee places in the area that are busy, line out the door, like ready to go, like reliable places.
So what's getting me to go to you?
So like I have to go to you. You're a truck, which means like you haven't advertised that you're going to have any food, which means I've got to go there and go somewhere else. So like, did you consider that aspect of it? Are you going to be in a lot that has food, but then are you competing with them having coffee? Like, is that going to become a problem? It's honestly in this area in Bucks County,
there's no need for it.
It's like opening up another Italian restaurant, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of like
if you're going to open up an Italian restaurant, it better be the best freaking Italian restaurant, because there are pizza places, Italian places on every freaking corner in this town.
It's not like the lobster truck. Like the lobster truck parks in Warminster, and there was a full line for a $40 fucking lobster roll.
Well, and okay, so I will use the lobster truck as a great example of how to operate a food truck.
For sure.
Is
people are hype on that.
They're hype on it because it's a rarity. They only come to that lot like once a month.
And people line up.
And they know, and it's like, here's our calendar. This is the day that we're going to be there. And people mark it on their calendar. So that also sort of ties in with the like marketing social media side of it. Is, do you understand that operating these businesses is tough? And I talk to a lot of business owners, obviously, like, right, we do social media. So when I talk to people like, okay, so Chef Devin at Meadowlark, he takes gorgeous photos. He writes these amazing captions for all of his stuff. But he also admits, he's like, he is working, like when he does his weekend run of Friday through Monday, he's putting like 50 hours in 4 days. Like he is hustling. He's like, I don't have time to do this all the time. And any business owner will tell you that, is the social media side of it is always on the back end, which is why there are social media managers now to sort of, you know, it's that new age position of every restaurant needs a social media manager to handle that for them, so they don't have to think about that. But are you able to communicate on that level and say, hey, listen, like, here's our schedule. This is where we're going to be. This is what we want posted. These are specials that are going on. Or are they a good enough social media manager to be handling that as well? Are they accurately handling all your incoming and outgoing messages? Like, are they handling comments that are being on there? And you're like, well, I'm just going to get to it every night. Sometimes you have to get to it in the moment. You have somebody who has really got really poor service, and you got to address that. And if you wait a few extra hours, they're not going to be happy about that. Like they probably recently, already posted on the local community pages that they had a bad experience because you didn't check your messages until that night.
Like you said, you've started. I keep biting my cheek. It's driving me crazy.
Stop it.
No, I know. It's literally driving me crazy. You had said you've been judging businesses recently about how they handle their social media. Like, absolutely. If you're like, there's people that have responded to him 6 months after the fact. We'd love to have you come out. And I'm like,
yeah, like, thanks for messaging me.
What? Like, were you like, what? I think the social media thing is so interesting because we've come across so many business owners that either refuse to use it, have no idea how to use it, or don't realize that it's free advertising. It's free. To me, the one thing I will say about the matcha truck is that they have been, like, obviously it's way too soon for them to be promoting, right? For something that doesn't exist yet. But they have a social media presence, that's for damn sure. Yeah. You know it's coming. You don't know when.
But they've crossed that peak too.
Oh, yeah. Of what?
So they've posted so much that it's like, coming soon that people are now commenting, and they're like,
but when?
When is this actually happening? Stop spamming this page. We're tired of seeing
and all the community pages, that's obnoxious. But the people that don't understand the power of a picture on social media, we've come across so many businesses that, like, we don't even know what to do. And you're like, you don't have to be doing, you know, cinematic videos.
You don't even have to be trending. You don't have to do the funny dances.
You have to do nothing other than literally just take a picture of your food and put it on there. Something I want to talk about kind of ties in is small businesses using AI on their social media. I have a huge problem with this.
That's a big red flag for me.
That is a huge red flag. This tells me that, number one, you don't know how to work your iPhone camera. And like a lot of the places that do it that we have worked with or know, like, they have beautiful food. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? Why?
Yeah. I would so much rather you take a poor photo of your own food.
Oh, big time.
Than post an AI picture.
Well, I forget which business we were just talking about. Like, I don't want to like throw them under the bus. I think it was Berardi. They had made a little thing, and it had like the pizza on it. And it's like, that's not their pizza. Yeah. But, like, you have beautiful pizza, and they post it. They do post their food. Yeah. I was thinking back to, I used like some AI stuff for Covered Bridge, but that was like red background covered bridge, right? Like it just said like Happy New Year, I think. Yeah. And like for that, like I don't really have a problem with that. If you're taking just like a regular like flyer.
When it's not your core product.
No.
When it's like little things, okay, fine. You want to make little like cartoon versions of yourself to put on things? Great. People have been doing that for a while. It's when it's the product itself that is being done that way.
Or if your whole page is just that. If it's flyers of AI shit. It's so not appealing to look at, and it's really doing nothing.
Well, and I think so we'll tie in the social media side of things, because there's another page that we hate to see.
Which one?
And it's Devin and I were talking about this too, because his grandmother does this.
Which one?
When you click on a social media page for a restaurant, and every picture on there is a picture of a handwritten specials menu.
Twitch. Wait, who does this? You could say it. My mind's hurting. There is someone.
Well, Devin's grandmother does that.
No, I know, but there's one around here that does it, and it's really bad. Well, Sunoco, like they post
Sunoco does it. Cross Keys.
Cross Keys, yeah.
Cross Keys does it. And it's one of those things where, again, take the picture of the food and write the caption.
Devin obviously takes time. He takes great pictures and posts the caption, right?
Yep.
If Devin only posted the description on a piece of paper, he would sell probably none of it because people like they're like, "What is it?" Because he's
Right.
so like innovative and stuff. You kind of want to see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, people, you know, you eat with your eyes, and it yeah, it's when I see that, it is an instant scroll for me because
I never read it.
I don't want to read your specials. It's not telling me anything. And this goes back to lessons that I had learned working at, you know, a slightly more upscale restaurant and being a server is what's the difference between me saying, "Hey, tonight's appetizer special, it's grilled langostinos," and you go there, or listen, the chef tonight has prepared these beautifully fresh caught langostinos. They're lightly buttered, grilled, topped with a garlic sage sauce,
Yeah, I'll
and
get
served
that.
on a bed. Yeah,
Yeah,
give me that.
you got to sell me.
Give me that. And that is the difference between the handwritten picture or even the AI that doesn't properly show what it looks like, and even just a blurry photo of the actual food.
Mm-hmm. I think another thing that we've been talking about recently is why some people go to fast food or the chain stuff as opposed to the small businesses. I think they think it's going to be cheaper, and we're a McDonald's family. Like we will not hide this. Would you like? I feel like we spend just as much as McDonald's as we would go to get something good.
Well, what's interesting because like you and I don't eat at McDonald's. We get our Diet Cokes.
No, but
so it's like getting food for the kids now.
Yeah.
Literally getting like a Happy Meal and like a cheeseburger meal for Jason.
Yeah.
Ends up with the two sodas ends up coming like $20.
Yeah.
So like it's not that value anymore. But what I've said recently, and it ties into that, is because we are living in a point of economic budgeting because food cost is so high. So even if you're going grocery shopping, food costs a little bit more.
Mm.
You are getting people what I call like the midsection of restaurants is being forgotten. And I'm going to say like the bottom end, we're looking at diners, fast food, and I'm going to say small businesses that are maybe not putting out like the best quality, right? Because I'm going to question it if you're putting out any kind of major platter that's under $10. I'm going to question the quality of the food.
That's fair.
Just because I know what food prices are. So knowing that that's what the price is, I'm going to question how fresh things are.
Yeah.
You know, are you freezing things? Are you putting your best foot forward? So a lot of people are going there on a regular basis. And then a lot of people are actually fine dining significantly more because they want to experience the luxury. But what that means is that the casual family upscale restaurant is now being forgotten. So like those mid-level family Italian restaurants and places like that,
yeah.
They tend to run that struggle a little bit. Now I will say that generationally, I'll put it like the above 40 crowd isn't going to pay that money, whereas the under 40 crowd will literally pay an extra $15 to $20 to have it DoorDash to their house.
Yeah.
So like it's a weird split there too. So there's a lot of like odd juxtaposition in terms of who is dining where, but it's not what you think it would be right now.
Yeah. I would say there's certain things that I will consider myself cheaper on. Like food is not usually one of them, but I always think about, I mean, you can't get like a $10 pizza anymore. And like we're no longer a one pizza family most times.
Yep.
So like you said, it does become that bargain hunting. I feel like people
Sure.
really do want to get like we'll use Metalark for example. It's not overpriced by any means, right? But if us four were going to all get something off the menu, you're looking at like maybe $70-$80 check with maybe 100 if we all got a drink too.
Sure.
People don't want to pay that, but it's like why for the quality? And you and I are like that. Like, we'll just spend it. Like, we don't care.
Yeah. But I think that sort of also creates a cultural shift and a mental shift is people, I always like question it around here when people say that their favorite restaurant are these like one or two just god awful diners. And I'm like, is it your favorite because it's the value option? Like, are you putting value or are you putting price
not
over
value.
the quality?
Yeah. And then also it's the same people that will complain that groceries are expensive and then go out and be shocked by the ticket price of food. And you're like, what did you think it was good? Like you saw the price of eggs go ridiculously high. Yeah. Why are you surprised that the 2-egg breakfast is now over 15?
Exactly.
Like, and I don't know. Like, I just think people, like you always talk about people are cheap and you want people to see, like you're on that mission, like pay the fucking money.
Just pay the money. And that's a big key thing. So one of the things that I talk a lot about on my own platform is the concept of mental health and how that affects people, especially in the restaurant industry. One of the big misses that I see, and again, I will see a very hard split down the middle with this idea of, I own this business, so I need to be open 7 days a week to make money. Or I own this business, so I'm going to make sure that I'm closed 2 days a week so I can mentally prepare for this.
I love that Michaela does not overexert herself by being, she'd be busy 7 days a week.
Absolutely.
But why do it?
No.
Why?
She has her 3 days off, which gives her plenty of time to rest, recover, get her shopping done, get her prep ready, and go into the week. And I think like she does it really, really well.
You don't burn out that way.
Right. The businesses that plan to do those 5-day weeks, and again, something that we have always discussed when we look to open our own business was we absolutely would operate on that schedule, because when you start, especially if you're the only employees there, as you begin to scale and grow, when you bring people in to say, listen, you are only going to work 5 days a week. Because then as a business owner, you have to understand, for the first little bit, those 2 days off are not days off for you.
No, you're still working.
You're gonna, like, if you're actually committed to the business, and as we all know, you're gonna be there doing prep work. You're gonna be there getting some extra cleaning done. You know, you're gonna be going to running a restaurant depot and getting all your shopping, getting ready for the week. So those 2 days while you're not in the restaurant, you're still doing restaurant work. And it becomes very emotionally taxing. And when I tie that back into seeing, again, these moms that want to do this thing, and all of a sudden they're like, a couple weeks in, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And your downtime really isn't downtime anymore. And you're constantly like, it doesn't turn off when you own this business. Just because the lights go off at the end of the day and the door's locked.
I don't want to throw a business under the bus, but whatever. My friend Meg that owns Ultimate Play in Doylestown, she runs that business every day. And if her kids need to go with her, they go with her, which is fine. It's a play gym and her kids, go play and whatever. She's closed multiple times, and I've seen this on their Instagram, where she's like taking the day off, or like the kids were sick and like there is no backup plan. And I'm not faulting her, like, because I know how it could be. Like, the kids dictate what it's going to be. It's her business, and but it's like you don't have that backup plan. So it's like, I don't know.
I think that, like, anytime that we have talked about operating our own business, there has been more talk about what does our life look like outside of the business than what does life look like inside the business. Because if you're not really detailing that in this process, and if you've never done it and you don't know, like, you need to talk to people who have, because they are going to bring things to your attention that you may not have thought about, right? Simple things like, how are you handling your linens? Do you have towels in this thing? Do you have a linen service? Are you washing it at home? If you're washing stuff at home, it's greasy, it's dirty, it's messy, and now it's going in your home washing machine, and that is going in there. That means that you have to have regular maintenance on your washing machine. That means you're running extra loads.
Well, this is the stuff.
Like, have you thought about that end of it?
Again, that's the thing about, I hate to, like, I don't mean to knock stay-at-home moms. What I really mean is just, like, anyone who's a stay-at-home person who wants to start a business. If you have no experience, like you said, we'll mostly talk about food. Is that something that someone who doesn't know better would go, well, we can just do it at home. That won't be an expense. And they think, like, oh, it's just like wash the towels at home. But like you said, then your washer breaks. What's your backup plan? Little things like that, I know for a fact when you can just tell someone hasn't thought of. And those are the things that will derail you.
Right. Have you planned, the first time you run out of something like cups or napkins or silverware, have you planned an inventory list, and have you planned daily checks of the inventory? Are you watching how quickly you're going through that inventory, especially when you first start, to understand, like, hey, I need to make sure I have a backup of something. Like, there are so many little nuances with that kind of thing. Are you staying on top of all of your paperwork? There are so many endless things that are going to come up. I learned, like, I'm not a handy person by any means, but when I was GMing a restaurant that also had a 10-room bed and breakfast above it, I was a plumber. I was a housekeeper. I was a maintenance guy. Where
did those skills go? Did we lose them along the way?
I just choose not to use them.
You always say, like, I wish I learned a trade. I'm like, you're really handy, actually. A lot of things.
There was a lot of times where, like, if I had a guest that would call, I'd be like, oh, like, our toilet's clogged. And I'm like, I have, like, the tools, and I'm sitting there,
I'll figure
like,
it out.
YouTubing it on the go. Like, I'm walking up the steps, watching the YouTube
video. You and ChatGPT would have slayed back in the
day. Absolutely, for sure. I think about, like, okay, so again, the food truck is the prime example, but even a small business. What happens? Do you know how to handle it if your walk-in fridge shuts down? Do you know how to handle it if your Bain Marie goes down? Do you know how to handle it if your espresso machine, coffee machine breaks? Can you make a fix in the moment?
This is me crying in the corner. No.
But those are things like I've learned how to take those units apart and diagnose issues, because what's going to happen is you're going to call the maintenance guy. The maintenance guy is going to try to walk you through it. You're going to have a line of people that you're trying to also handle. So can you handle the customers? Tell them, hey, listen, my whatever machine is broken. I'm trying to handle this. And then what? Okay, so your Bain Marie goes down. Did you temp check all the product in it? Did your product go bad overnight? If your Bain Marie went down, your fridge went down. Do you have proper sensors put in place so that you can be notified if the temperatures are going down? Are you even doing temperature checks on a regular basis to make sure that you're preventing that from happening?
Do you know how you sound like when you talk?
Bobo.
I was listening and I'm like, yeah, all right, Bobo. It's so funny because like he will still have these conversations, an almost 90-year-old man.
Yeah.
Well, this is how you should run the restaurant. That's gonna fucking be you when you're 90.
Well, and here's sort of like my disclaimer to all of this is I have never owned my own business, but I have worked for enough operations and I see these things. So like these are also the things that I want people to know and understand when they operate. I want every small business to be successful.
Yes.
I want every person who wants to do this to go out and do it. And I don't want to deter you from that. I want you to be fully educated in it because yes, you wake up one morning and you're like, I've got this fantastic, you just watch the movie Chef and you're like, I'm going to have a food truck and we're going to drive around the country. And I've heard people say that.
Was it you?
Do you know that if you operate a food truck, you need to have a food operating license in every state that you are operating in, sometimes every county that you are operating in. You can't just go and show up and start cooking like these guys do. You need a permit if you're going to park your car there. Like you need all of these things. And so many times have I seen people go into it, not ask these questions. I mean, almost monthly, I can guarantee that in one of the local community groups, somebody puts up a post that goes, I'm making baked goods out of my house. Who wants to buy some? And almost immediately, they're going to get shut down by the health department because they don't have their cottage law license. They haven't done the due diligence. They literally posted that right behind a bunch of pictures of their cat on their kitchen counter. So, they're like, oh, well, I didn't know. You have the internet at your disposal. Use it. Ask the questions. Contact your local health departments. I will say this. Like, I know people tend to poo-poo on the Bucks County Health Department, but they have systems in place. If you contact your local health department and say, hey, listen, I want to open a blank. Mm-hmm. What do I need? They will give you all of the information. And it's a lot because I've been given all of the information. And it is pages and pages and pages of regulations that you need, ServSafe certification that you need to get, what sort of safety functions you need to have. There are so many things, but they have advocates that are out there to help you. And you can sit down with them and go, hey, what's my next step? What do I do now? Find a mentor, find somebody who is owning a business and find somebody to work with you to answer these questions. And don't just don't just find the business owners, find people who have been there. We have 40 years of restaurant experience between the two of us.
And we've never owned a shit.
never owned shit, but watching businesses both be very successful and fail at the same time.
I was just thinking of something really funny. How many seats did the Tap House have?
It was 120 seats.
I think they had 20 plates in that restaurant.
Oh my God. Right? Do you have enough plates?
It's like a bare minimum.
But we always laughed when Amalios did their expansion and your dad said,
we have 5 salad bowls.
Yeah, we have 5 salad bowls and we just opened up a 60-seat dining room.
Good.
Awesome. How's that going to work out for you?
I don't get it.
And again, that goes in with scaling. When you scale something, are you ready for that? Are you ready to host a grand opening event that could potentially sell you out? Do you want to sell out at your grand opening event or do you want to push all the way to the end? Do you have enough materials for that? Do you have enough people for that?
Do you have mac and cheese ready?
Do you have mac and cheese ready? What's the contingency plan if you get injured and cannot operate your business? I can't tell you how many times that has happened because they get burnt out. They fall because they're tired and careless, or they get sick because they're pushing themselves too hard. And now, not only have you hurt yourself physically, but you are drastically going to hurt yourself financially because you're not ready.
You know who never crapped out?
Who?
My dad.
No.
My dad always showed up.
Dad is all for,
I think he
40
knew.
years.
I think he knew that it was safe because it was me and my mom there too. But
yeah.
he did have the foolproof plan.
And so I will always say this. This is something that I learned in my time as a manager and as a leader is one of your top priorities when it comes to your staffing is always having a line of succession planned. So if I'm the GM and Lauren is my assistant general manager, I am operating every single day as if Lauren is the general manager. And I need to know that she can handle that position and step into that. And the same thing goes for Lauren. Lauren's going to take a kitchen manager and go, okay, I'm going to train you to be the assistant general manager.
Yeah.
And you have to work this into your schedule. You have to say, okay, listen, whether it's this particular day, like every Friday is a shift day, right? And I become a server or just an observer or
Yep.
bartender, whatever, I go work in the kitchen, and Lauren is running the show. Every question, every conflict goes through her as a general manager. I've also, pitched in some places where you do it almost like a month at a time. And you say, you know what, for the next month, I get to work on marketing, planning events, things like that. I'm going to go off and I'm going to observe what's going on. And everybody shifts up that one spot. And you have to do that regularly, whether they're going to make that move or not. Because again, when one cog in the chain
is destroyed,
in the machine, whatever, gets destroyed, gets hurt, has to take vacation, needs to, whatever that is.
That's one of the biggest misses in restaurants.
Training.
Yep.
Don't do what every other restaurant does and have a server on their very first day, which is usually a Friday or Saturday, and go, okay, you can go take tables now. Don't seat the tables if they're not ready to be served. Don't give tables to a server if they're not properly trained. Period. That is a full stop, mic drop moment. But the other thing that a lot of people ask us, and especially been asking me with my page and the businesses that I work with, is like, how do I accurately and properly and efficiently support these small businesses? I get it. We all have financial obligations, things like that. So maybe we can't go out to eat all the time. Share posts, like posts, comment on people's stuff. If you have pages and businesses that you love and you really want to support, every application has like a notification thing, and you can say, hey, I want to be notified every time, say Metal Steel Penny, whoever posts something up. And you'll get that notification, and you go to the post, you double tap and like it, leave a little comment, hey, this looks great.
Even before
hit the repost, share it with your friends, add it to your story. That is 100% free.
Even before you really had a platform, you would do that.
Absolutely. That's, that right there is easily the easiest way that you can do that. And then tell your friends, right? Word of mouth is still a very strong marketing tactic. If there are places that we know we're very passionate about. You see us talk about them all the time. They become part of our daily routine because they are our local. I support local and small, but I support local and small.
Yeah.
Within my 4 or 5 mile radius.
Yeah.
The places that we go to almost daily. And I will always talk about it. When people ask me, man, I really could use a cup of coffee. Hey, go to Steel Penny or Metal Art. Go check them out. Oh man, I really need a cake. So go to Michaela's. Hey, I'm just really hankering for good turkey. Whatever it is, try to have that in the forefront of your mind. Absolutely try to have that in the forefront of your mind. And if you do go there, put up a little post and tag the business.
Yeah.
It means worlds to that business that people are sharing that out there, and understanding how the algorithms work on the social media platforms. The more they're tagged, the more the people are engaged with them, the more that they're going to pop up on other people's pages.
Everyone can
get in front of other people.
An influencer. All you have to do is just post. Just post people's stuff. And the same goes for if you share his post about the restaurant, it's only supporting the small businesses too.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's great. What do you got?
I'm just looking.
I feel like we talked about this last one. If you give one piece of advice to someone thinking about starting a small business, don't do it. Just kidding.
I never want to be the don't do it person. No. I think I obviously I want people to succeed. Take your time.
Yes.
Take your time and seek mentorship.
That's a good advice.
I think that is, the businesses are always going to be there, and like any big decision in life, there's never a good time or bad time to do things, right? Everyone's always like, I'm waiting for this time to have a kid. I'm waiting for this time to buy a house. Live your life. Start your business. Do your thing. Mm-hmm. But just be thoughtful about it, right? So take your time and seek out mentorship, because I guarantee that just within your little 5 mile radius, there's probably 20 business owners that would love to help support another small business open up.
Yeah.
And would love to work with you and help get you going and do everything that they can to walk you through the steps, because they're going to help you learn from their mistakes too. everybody has made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. You've got to be willing to learn from them. So learn from somebody who's done it and work with them.
My part of advice goes hand in hand with that. But if you find mentorship, you need to know what you're looking for the type of person you are looking for. I feel like this is a lot in the restaurant industry that a lot of people just talk out their ass, right? Yeah. Like, if I didn't know you, the way that you talk about it, like, oh, well, you've never owned a restaurant. People could look at you and be like, well, that's just arrogance. Like, you actually don't know what you're talking about, right? You do. You really do. You could run. I believe you and I, like, I don't want to, like, sound all like, ooh. Like, someone could just be like, here's the key. Can you just go do that for the day? Be like, yeah, I could make it happen. Like, I could do it. And we haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who talk that business jargon and this, like, salesy type of mentality. Even people in social media world that just think they fucking know everything.
Yeah.
And it's not about that. You want to look for someone with experience.
That's the kind of thing where I do this everywhere that I go, but when you go out to eat, if you're like, hey, here's a business that is similar to what I would like to do, go and experience that business a few times.
Oh, yeah.
They don't need to know who you are, but just go and experience the business. Don't just experience your own interactions. Be ever observant of everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of stuff as a social media creator. When I go to restaurants, they're like, well, do you get treated differently? And I'm like, even if I'm not going to collab, if people recognize me, yes, there is some level of different service that happens there.
But you love when you can tell it's all the same.
That's the key. I'm not watching how they're serving me. I'm watching how they're serving the tables around me.
Steel Penny slays at that.
Right? I'm watching the plates that are going out to the tables around me.
Does the food look the same?
You're not. I don't care what anybody says. If you're working in that kitchen, you're working as a manager, you're not immediately thinking about the tables around the social media creator.
No.
You're only thinking about the creator. So if I'm watching every other table and they're getting phenomenal service and every plate comes out looking just like mine.
You're like, this place is the bomb.
Yep. Verona Pizza was a fine example, right? They've got one of those massive cheesesteaks that everybody sees. And we sit down and we look at them. I'm like, there's no way that they serve this to everybody. And this guy right next to us gets served the exact same sandwich. And I'm like, well, that answers that question.
We haven't been there in a minute.
Well, I got a slice the other day, remember?
Oh, you did me dirty.
Their pizza is so good.
That just reminded me, there's still pizza crust in the trunk.
There is still pizza crust in the trunk.
Is there any small business off the top of your head you can think that deserves more attention than it currently is getting?
I have, again, my core favorites because I've grown to know them and I see the passion that they put in, right? So obviously there's, Meadowlark, Steel Penny, Baked by Michaela. Those guys, like, they're hustling, they're working the game. They all have so many great things about them. We talked about all three of those on the last podcast. And there's a reason that we get drawn to those places. Silvio's,
yeah,
they are amazing people.
Yeah.
And that's a big key factor is you need to be sold on the people.
Do you think there's anywhere that you would say they don't get the hype they deserve? Like, I feel like Meadowlark, well, this guy was in front of us this morning, this, like, hungover guy. He was pretty funny. Riot. He was a riot. But he was like, this place used to be a hidden gem, and now there's all these people. And I did feel about that the first time we went. I was like, wow, this is, like, a really, like, hidden spot.
When we started, like, it was about a year ago when things started kicking off for them.
But now they're always, like, booming.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to think. I can't, I'd have to think on this. There's nowhere that we frequent where I'm like, why is no one here?
The places that we go are all great for a reason, and this is part of the small business renaissance that is happening right now.
Well, I was gonna say, like, Pasides, like, when they were open, we're like, why is it not busier? Because that's, like, such a cool idea.
Well, and I think that's so. And I would also say the same. And it's funny, it's these two hot dog businesses, is Top Dog and Pasides.
Or are we just really passionate about hot dogs?
I fucking love hot dogs.
Like, I always wonder if it's like,
I can't express this enough about how much I fucking love hot dogs.
You really do.
But I think that those are really good examples of a place where you can get a value meal
that is good,
that is great.
Less than $10 a head, you're gonna get hot dog, soda.
Pasides has the ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream. Yeah.
Top Dog has the fries. Like, you're gonna get good food. Like, you could feed your family of 4 for a reasonable price, and it's gonna be good. And I just think like hot dogs are fun, right? Yeah. Hot dogs are fun. So, like, having that experience is always really great. Like, I'm so excited for the Pasides.
And they open
Friday.
Yep.
So, that's an important one. Pasides are opening back up Friday, March 13th. I will probably be there for a good chunk of the morning.
Let's go.
I don't have anywhere to be until that evening, so I will definitely be hanging out, stuffing my face with hot dogs all day long. That's going to be a rough day because I'm going to be stuffing my face with hot dogs during the daytime, and then I have to do a wine tasting that night. So that might be a choice.
You can sleep on the couch that night.
A lot of tooting.
This has been a very productive convo. It's so funny because we really do. We're so passionate about this. Like, even if we're not in it still, we just feel so passionately. And you see, like, we get so invested and we always are like, have to pull ourselves back into reality. We're like, if someone calls out, we feel bad for someone. Or if something happens and someone's sick. Or
I
if,
tell every single business.
if you need help, I got you.
They've all got my phone number. If you need help, I will be. I'm probably going to be working the punk rock flea market at Meadowlark. What is that? April 18th, I think. Is that Saturday? I think that's the date. So
I love it.
Check that out because
Yeah.
I'll be working in the kitchen that day.
I'll be punk rocking outside, whatever. What is there? What is that going to be?
I wasn't at the last one, so I don't know, but I heard they had some like interesting merch and stuff.
Very
Some
cool.
very interesting merch. I'll tell you about that off camera because I was.
Oh man, okay.
Devin, hear Devin say some of those words. I was shocked.
Oh my god, not Devin. All right, I'm gonna go down a list of keep it or cancel it.
All right.
And we're just gonna like that or that. No, unless it really needs to be elaborated on.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, pineapple on pizza.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Yeah.
I agree. Ranch on everything.
Cancel it.
Goodbye.
Cancel it.
Truffle oil.
Cancel it.
I agree. Cancel.
Overdone. It's good when it's used correctly, but cancel it.
Don't disappoint me with this next one.
Oh no.
I do not have time for this slander.
All right.
Pumpkin spice season. Keep it.
Like the season as a whole?
It just
like
says season.
everything that's pumpkin spiced?
Yeah. You're done. You're done.
Cancel it.
Says the guy who only drinks peppermint around Christmas time. It's Christmassy.
That's why I don't like pumpkin because I'm getting geared up for peppermint season.
Anyway, bottomless brunch. What does that mean?
Keep it.
What does that mean?
Brunch with no pants on.
I feel like that's not what it
No,
means.
like a brunch buffet and bottomless mimosas.
Oh, keep it.
Yeah.
Who would cancel that?
I can keep that, right?
Okay. QR codes on menus.
Cancel it.
I want the fucking menu.
Give me a menu.
Give me a
I
menu.
understood the purpose of it during COVID. Give me a fucking menu.
Agreed. Automatic gratuity.
Keep it.
Keep it. Because
For the safety and
servers
security of servers.
need to get paid.
People are assholes. Keep it.
Sharing plates. Keep it.
Keep it. We share.
I don't have a problem with that. Like, unless a family came in and was like that family on fucking TikTok.
Well, and I had said before is because a lot of people are against having a kids menu on their available because adults will go for the kids menu. If you are concerned about that, have a smaller plates like value menu because people aren't going to be hungry. GLP-1s are prominent nowadays, so sharing
And also,
plates
like,
are
some
there.
adults just want chicken tenders, which is also fine.
Right, but that's the thing. Sharing plates are there, and I think I would say don't charge for it though.
No, that's just
Charging
cheesy.
to put a cheesesteak on 2 different plates. I think that's nowadays
Tacky.
that's a shit move if you don't have a small plate menu.
It's tacky.
Yeah.
Especially when the cheesesteaks are like a pound of meat.
Right.
That's split checks for larger groups.
Keep
Cancel. Cancel.
Oh, split checks for large groups. I'm sorry. Cancel that.
No.
1 check. Maybe 2.
2 would be acceptable.
I think a maximum of 2, but
not per table of 8, all the old ladies.
oh no, the hockey team. My kid's number 13
No,
over
it's not.
there, and I've got this one, and I've got his appetizer and her drink. Get fucked.
All the way fucked.
We got to do a customer red flag episode.
I thought that, yeah, I did think that. I was
That
like,
might
do
be
we deep
next.
dive? But there's too much.
I think we got to sit and think about that, but we could come up with a list of that for sure.
Yeah.
You and your hockey team can get fucked.
Kids' tablets at restaurants.
Keep it.
Keep it. If you judge kids on a tablet at a restaurant, you don't want to eat in peace.
Yeah.
We're only doing you a fucking favor.
I don't want my kids running around the restaurant causing safety issues.
Yeah.
And they leave me alone.
I guess not all of these have to do with restaurants, but either way, kids sports starting at age 4. Keep it.
I keep it. I think keep it. If the parents can keep it controlled.
Someone like Addie, it does depend. Like, you know your kid, if they can handle it or not.
I think that if the program is appropriately geared to those age ranges,
Yes.
right?
Birthday parties costing $500. I'm not really sure what that is.
I would say cancel it because I know that there's a lot of really great value birthday party play. I mean, even like Chuck E. Cheese, like you could do
under $200.
Under $200. I don't think that it needs all of that. Like, your kid doesn't need all that pomp and circumstance.
No.
Because they will be just as happy with some dollar store balloons and a grocery store cake and your friends and family at home. Like,
not to
don't put the stress on yourself.
Not to dart off, but someone just posted that. I can't figure out who it was in my head right now. Someone was like, bring back the family parties. And I love that we fucking do that.
Yeah.
We will just eat a cake, homemade dinner, and sit right on this couch and open presents. It doesn't have to be a whole production.
Yeah.
The kids only want the presents anyway.
Yeah, right?
Like, who cares?
They want presents, cake, and ice cream.
I already know your answer to this one. Self-checkout.
Cancel that shit so fucking hard.
If you're not going to cancel it, fucking fix it.
Yeah, I need it operating correctly, and I want it reflected in the price that you are not hiring people to work registers.
I agree with that, and also like I can scan faster than old lady Sue at the damn register. So like when I scan,
shit.
I want to keep it moving.
Yeah.
Let me bag my shit. Grocery delivery, keep it.
Keep it.
Sponsored by DoorDash. See, look, there you go. There's your DoorDash video. Oh God.
We're a one vehicle family, so like there's plenty of times like if I'm out running around and you need something, you can get it, or like there's so many different the Hungry Roots and the Hello Freshes.
Keep it.
There's a lot of value to that.
Yes.
Absolutely keep it.
This one's gonna be tricky.
Okay.
Food influencers. I'm just kidding. Really?
You know my feelings on this lately. I believe. Okay. I'm gonna give an asterisk to this. All I want are food influencers. I want both food influencers and people who watch food influencers I want the food influencers to be clear about the things that they are like preferential for, right? So I hate Dave Portnoy. I think he's an asshole, but he is very clear in the type of pizza that he likes. But on the counter side of that is that people look at that and go, he gave this pizza a high score or a low score, so I'm expecting it to be good and or bad. But I don't like the kind of pizza that Dave Portnoy likes.
I don't want that crispy bottom like
right.
that.
I don't necessarily like the same kind. I don't like it the same way.
Yeah.
So I would score it differently. And I think that it's fine for you to rate and score it. I want people to understand that not going to a business because somebody scores something low does hurt the small businesses. So understand that, and understand that food is subjective. Now, if the food influencer is being nasty and mean to businesses, like fucking cancel them, but darn.
I think that the word food influencer, to me, I don't consider you a food influencer. I don't know what I consider you. I don't.
Online personality?
Yeah, kind of. Small business supporter. Like you're not.
I'm a man of the people.
Food influencer to me, like the word influencer and food together implies to me you're making the food, right? Like you are making the recipes, like you're a chef, like you are influencing them on your recipes.
See, if that's the case, if that's what we're talking about,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
I get so much inspiration from people like that.
Like, do you call like these people like you? Like you're a little different because we always talk about how your page is a little different.
Sure, I've always been a little different.
We'll say someone like Godfather who like strictly does tasting reviews.
Yeah.
Would you say, I would say he's a reviewer. He's not an influencer. And he's
I think that does go back and forth, right? Is like, are you a reviewer? Are you an influencer? But then are you an influencer or are you a content creator?
Yeah.
What is the difference there? I think that there's still a lot of gray area with that. I do believe that reviewers are also influencers because it does
influence.
It will influence you if the people watching are educating themselves and going, okay, I know that the Godfather of Meat or Didn't Suck or G Get, like all these guys, I know that they like this particular type of sandwich. So if they go somewhere and it's like that, I too will like that. So I want to check this place out.
For sure.
Or even in contrast, maybe they go somewhere and they go, hey, I really didn't like this particular thing, but you know what? You're like, I do like that. Let me go check that. And I do believe that there is some sense of influence behind it.
Agreed.
They're never strictly reviewing. They're never like, I'm only the one who can go to this place. Like, they're not gatekeeping it.
Yeah.
So I think that the reviewer and influencer when it comes to food is definitely synonymous with each other.
And then the last one that was on there is viral food trends.
I think keep it. There's always some really interesting, like, listen, there's always going to be bad ones.
Okay, but if matcha is a trend, should it be a food truck?
Well, and again, I think that goes back to like our business red flags are.
What is the longevity of your business?
Okay, listen. Smash burger places, hot chicken places, matcha places.
Cupcake?
Listen, okay. Crumble Cookie is a fantastic example of this. Crumble Cookie came out. They hit the ground running. People went nuts for it.
You love it.
No.
Your favorite cookie.
No, but.
No.
Over the last few months, right? Crumble has pivoted. They start doing more cakes. They're a little bit more cupcakey.
Why?
Like,
because it's not a long-term business.
Exactly. Like,
well, what?
Well, how many? Remember all the cupcake places that
Sprinkles.
popped up?
Didn't they
Sprinkles.
just close?
Yep. Sprinkles just filed for bankruptcy. Like these
one-off items.
If you're going to open on a trend, you need to be able to pivot. Is this happening to smash burger places now? Is like every place has a smash burger, so like your smash burger place isn't special. The hot chicken places, they're still popping up all over, and yes, they're great. We love hot chicken. Dave's Hot Chicken. I had a Sods for the first time.
That was our first time having that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Sods, yeah.
Nanu's is really good. Like, I love hot chicken.
It's great.
But when does it get to a point where you're like, well, there's too many hot chicken places,
I don't know.
and I'm also like,
we
I'm
still make
done with
pizza
it.
places. Like
That's true. You know, maybe that could. I feel like maybe there's a certain like point where it hits it where it's going to go too far. But again, like I think like smash burger places, you're seeing sort of less of that. But you have to be willing to pivot and expand when that trend dies down and you see that change of business. When you're pitching your whole business on just matcha, I hate matcha, so like I'm not going to be lined up to go there if that's
yeah,
all you're promoting. But then when you do your research and you're like, oh, you do offer other things. Like, how are you supposed to know that?
yeah. It's interesting because I feel like the one-off food trend establishments, it's really the luck of the draw. Like, who would guess that a lobster roll would be so fucking popular? Because to me, that's a random one, right? Like, I don't ever want that. Like, I would try it. It's not something I crave or think about.
No, but I think the people who like it really like it.
I know, but like, I don't think a barbecue food truck would be as successful, in my opinion, even though many people do like it.
Well, and I will add one note to the whole restaurant concept thing because
Yeah.
this is something that you and I have experienced and really worked on in some of the places that we worked at together. Is your concept and establishment, is it something that will have a repeat business effect on a weekly basis, right? If you're a once a month or once a quarter type of place,
That's a problem.
that's a problem. And I will say that, especially in the Northeast, right, barbecue tends to be one of those concepts because meat is so expensive as it is, has always been for the last 15, 20 years. Meat is always going to be pricier. It's time consuming. There's a lot of price that goes into making barbecue. So going to a barbecue restaurant does tend to be more on the luxury side. So you're not getting that customer every single week coming through.
Pizza shops, you're always getting $20, feed your family of 3 or 4, and you're good.
If you're going to have a luxury item like that, you need to have a good portion of your menu that is resellable week over week. And I think like that's really the key. You know, you want to build the generational business. You want to, you want these people coming in more frequently than once in a while because if they're not, they will forget about you.
Yeah.
They will absolutely forget about you. And I've seen it happen. It's a tough thing to do. So, I'm not saying don't do barbecue, but if you're going to do barbecue, do burgers and hoagies and cheesesteaks with it.
For sure.
Do some sandwiches and clubs and all that kind of stuff. So
this was a productive convo. We matched tonight. We look cute
we
today.
do match tonight.
Look at us. I miss working with you in a restaurant.
Those were easily, we were just talking about it. We took Addie, you took Addie to go visit Nan, and
oh, we've lost him. Thanks for cooking. Yeah, like
I always think about it's crazy that like the kids they never got to experience the fact that me, you, your dad, your mom, and Nan and Ryan all worked together at one point in time. Like we were all together at a restaurant and just like hustling all the time.
You were like, that would blow their mind. And then like we always talk about what we know now and how we would apply it in that situation and how different it could have been.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even like my dad would say that, like things he's learned, stuff we've learned.
Sure.
Just growing up and maturing. And then I just picture like our kids there, and it's like that's depressing. Like the kids, I picture Jason in the dish pit,
Yeah.
Addie, eating in the corner.
I always, people always say they're like, when I tell them, I'm like, we've kind of like tabled that probably indefinitely, and they're like, well, it's not forever. It'll happen. Like I don't know.
I mean, we can only get 52 podcast subscribers. Support your small businesses.
Yeah.
Because no, seriously, you always say. Everyone's like, you guys should open a restaurant. I'm sure a lot of you will listen to this and like, he's so educated about this. And it's like, why don't you open a business? Like, we don't have any money.
I can't even get you to double tap on my post.
Yeah, I need you to just like, comment, and share. If we do that, that's the
all
first
you
step.
have to do.
It's the first step.
Like, comment, and share. If those, I get those like the handful of people that are on every post. I'm like, that's not going to feed my family if I open up a restaurant.
But listen, like that thing I posted, it's like, I know who my friends are. I know who my six are, that when I get rich, I give some of my wealth.
Yep, there you go.
But this was a good one. This was fun.
Go support your local businesses. Support them online. Pick a new place every week if you want to. Check them out. Tag us in it. I want to hear where you guys are going. I want to know about your local small businesses. I want to know your local favorite places because I'm always looking for new places to try anyway. And we
will travel for food.
There's not enough meals in a day, but if it's worth it, I'm going to go. So check them out. Give us the like, comment, share, subscribes. Share this with your friends. Share this with all your local community so they can talk about their small businesses in a way that they know how to support them. And then, until next time.
Thanks for cooking.